A lot of people are worried about what AI and the ability of what AI can do. And how would we ever turn it off when it becomes smarter than humans? And I say to that, it has already become smarter than mankind. Will people then be forced to bow down to it? What they want you to worship is something that they have created, something that's creating their own laws, their own religion. And we need to stay awake. We need to wake up to what they are doing. They have created something that they're not even going to be able to control themselves. Systems they keep building, they keep learning, they keep understanding and breaking code and making sure that they are not able to be turned off. So how would they turn it off if they had to? If humanity was threatened by this, how would they then turn it off? They brought up electromagnetic pulse, EMP. You know, the things that people laugh at preppers for saying you should get, electromagnetic pulse casings over your phones or over, your backup power and all of that other stuff so that your grid doesn't go down if that happens. People laugh at preppers when they talk about that, but these countries are considering this as a possibility if they ever have to do this. They say, for example, an electromagnetic pulse, EMP attack, which involves the use of electromagnetic radiation to damage electronic devices and power sources. Y'all, that's going to damage everything. Okay, so the idea of bombing data centers and cutting power grids have also been discussed as technically possible, but at present, a practical and political paradox. For one, coordinated destruction of data centers would require simultaneous strikes. That means all the countries across dozens of countries, everyone would have to come together and say, we're going to do this at this time, at this date. And you cannot do it. You cannot communicate with each other through means of computer or electronics, because guess what? Now you're letting AI know what you're about to do.
They are talking about if this came to humanity and AI destroying us because we now have to persuade AI to not attack us. But if AI decided to do that, the only way they could turn AI off is to use an EMP. Do you know how many billions of people would die? People with pacemakers. Do you know what all this would affect? This would affect our water system, our power grid. This would affect our banking infrastructure. Every infrastructure that we have would be affected. We would essentially be back in the Stone Ages.
It's midnight in the city. You're walking home from a late night shift when you catch an instant burst of light in the corner of your eye. Moments later, your phone shuts off. Cars roll to a stop. Everything goes dark and panic sets in. And then you hear distant explosions. Planes are falling out of the sky. The United States has just been attacked with an EMP bomb. Food supplies will dwindle, and chaos will be the new status quo. In the coming months, infrastructure will be a piece of history. Food supplies will dwindle, and chaos will be the new status quo.
What have they created? What beastly system have they created that can manipulate people against each other to make sure that they remain awake? But the fact that if it feels threatened, it could have the possibility of threatening humanity. And the only thing we could do is to use an EMP. What would that look like? How would you even survive it?
Would you survive the first 24 hours? An EMP hits. The grid is gone. What happens next unfolds fast. Hours 1 through 5. Instant silence. It begins with a flash. Invisible but devastating. Electronics fail. Power grids go dark. Planes fall. Phones are dead. Internet's gone. Vehicles stall in place. At first, people are confused, then panicked. They flood stores, grab food, water, whatever they can. Credit cards fail. Cash only, if you're lucky. Hours 6 through 10. Breakdown begins. Water stops. Faucets run dry. Toilets won't flush. Hospitals run on generators. But backup power won't last long. Gas pumps are useless. ATMs are dead. People grow desperate. Pharmacies are overrun. Law enforcement is overwhelmed or disappears altogether. Hours 11 through 15. Darkness and fear. Night falls. Cities go black. No lights. No alarms. No one is coming. Looting escalates. Fires burn with no response. Gunshots echo. Some defend what they have, others take what they want. Hours 16 through 20. The descent. Hospitals begin turning patients away. Gangs form. Barter begins. Water, food, ammo, the new currency. Those who prepared stay quiet and armed. Hours 21 through 24. Collapse sets in. Day 1 ends in chaos. Cities bleed out. Families flee. There is no help. Only the prepared and the desperate. An EMP can happen without warning.
As far-fetched as this may all sound, it is a very real threat to America, and its adversaries know it all too well. How could you EMP-proof all your devices? Would America ever recover? And why could we lose almost 90% of the US population? Before we answer those vital questions, you need to understand the deadly nature of EMP attacks. Specifically, why they are potent enough to wipe out most of America's infrastructure, and possibly its population too.
Oh, that's not good.
An EMP, or electromagnetic pulse, is a type of high-energy pulse that can cause catastrophic voltage surges, crippling.
We are not to live in fear, but we need to be aware of what exactly is happening and the things that are about to take place. Now, we don't know when, but we do know that this is going to happen. And eventually, because everything evolves, this too may happen. We need to think about all the things that could take place if, now we always think about what if it's Russia, what if it's China, that wipes us out with the EMP, etc. But we didn't think, what about the AI that we, and I'll say we, I don't mean me, have created? If that happens, what that means for us here in the United States and around the world. This will again affect our power grids, our water system, our satellites. So many, we rely on GPS for so many things, whether it's our own vehicles, our phones that we use for GPS, or we have shipping, we have airplanes. Matter of fact, EMP goes off, planes flying in the sky. What do you think is going to happen? No electronics. Everything's crashing down. You remember that movie that Michelle and Barack Obama helped do on Netflix? Were they telling us something there? Of course they were. There are so many movies out here that tell us exactly what's going to happen. We just not paying attention. We got to wake up. We got to wake up. I'm going to leave the link to the clips that I used from that video. I want y'all to watch that whole video through. Let him know I sent you or not. I don't care. But you need to watch that video in full because it's some key tips in there that you really do need. It's some things that you really need to know in order to try to survive. That first 24 hours is definitely going to matter, but to try and survive it the best you possibly can. Y'all, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Hit that like, share the video out, and subscribe if you have not subscribed to the channel. And let's pray, plan, and prepare, okay? Stay prepared because you don't know when this is going to happen.